I have to ask about the picture on this video. That flight attendant walking down the economy aisle, holding a premium meal on a tray? Is that even real? Or is that just heading straight to first class?
It is absolutely real, and it is not for first class. That premium tray is the exact secret airlines do not want you to know about. You pay hundreds of dollars for a ticket, and they nickel and dime you for a tiny bottle of water. But there is a hidden inventory of free items available to economy passengers.
Wait, free stuff back in economy? How? I thought they eliminated all the free perks years ago.
That is the illusion they want you to believe. It is strictly an ask and you shall receive policy. Flight attendants are trained never to offer these items proactively, because every single item given away costs the airline money. But if you know the exact words to say and the exact time to ask, you can unlock a completely different level of comfort. Today, we are exposing the free things you should always ask for on a long flight.
Okay, I am listening. I am so tired of getting scammed by airlines and feeling like a second-class citizen. Tell me everything.
Let us start with the most basic human need: hydration. You know they pour you a tiny plastic cup of soda and fill it with ice? They claim it prevents spills and speeds up the service aisle, but the real reason is pure calculated cost reduction.
So they are just hoarding the rest of the soda in the galley.
Exactly. Think of airline catering like a massive casino operation. The house always wants to minimize payouts while keeping the players just happy enough to stay at the table. They actually load enough full cans for every single passenger, but they know human psychology. They know 80% of people are passive and will just accept whatever is handed to them. By pouring half a cup, they save the remaining half for the next passenger. They have effectively cut their beverage costs by 50% across 2 flights simply by relying on your silence. But the inventory is right there. If you politely say, "May I please have the full can?" they are required to give it to you. You just have to break the script.
Wow. Okay, but what about food? That brings us back to that premium tray from the thumbnail. How do I actually get that?
That is the second meal secret. Every single flight is catered for 100% capacity, but on average, 5 to 10% of passengers miss their flight due to delayed connections, traffic, or sudden cancellations. That means there are extra untouched hot meals just sitting in the galley. If they are not eaten, strict health regulations force the crew to throw them in the trash when the plane lands.
So why do they not just offer them to people who look hungry? Why throw perfectly good food away?
Because they do not know exactly how many extra meals they have until the entire cabin is served. The secret is timing. Wait until the meal service is completely finished and the flight attendants have cleared the trays. Then, quietly walk back to the rear galley. Smile and say, "Excuse me, I know you are busy, but if there happen to be any leftover meals from passengers who missed the flight, I am still quite hungry." 9 times out of 10, they will happily hand you a second hot meal. They would much rather give it to a polite passenger than throw it in the garbage.
That is brilliant! I am definitely doing that. But what if I just want a decent snack? The economy pretzels are basically cardboard, and they leave me feeling dehydrated.
Then you need to ask for the first-class leftovers. Up in the premium cabins, they serve warm mixed nuts, fresh fruit, and high-end chocolate bars. After their service is over, flight attendants bring the leftover snack baskets back to the economy galley to snack on themselves.
Are you serious? They hide the good chocolate behind the curtain?
They absolutely do. Now, you cannot demand this, but if you walk back to stretch your legs, chat with the crew, treat them like human beings, ask them how their day is going, then casually ask, By the way, do you happen to have any leftover snacks from the premium cabin? If you've built a little rapport, they will often reach into their hidden stash and hand you a gourmet chocolate bar. It costs them nothing, and it makes your flight infinitely better.
Okay, speaking of first class, I always see them getting those fancy little bags with eye masks and lotions. Is there any way to get one of those in economy?
Yes, and this is a massive insider secret. It is called the amenity kit loophole. On long international flights, business class passengers receive luxury pouches filled with premium lip balm, hydrating facial mists, thick socks, and high-quality earplugs. Just like with the meals, there are always no-shows in business class.
Wait, so there are extra luxury kits just sitting up front doing nothing?
Exactly. And because they are branded for that specific flight or season, the airline often discards the extras or the crew takes them home. If you're on a flight over 8 hours, wait until the cabin lights are dimmed for sleeping. Walk to the galley and politely ask, "I forgot my sleep mask. Do you happen to have any extra business class amenity kits left over?" Because you asked specifically, and because they usually have 3 or 4 extras, they will often just hand you the entire luxury pouch for free.
That is amazing. Okay, what about emergencies? Not like a medical emergency, but what if I get a terrible headache from the cabin pressure? I once asked for medicine and they told me no.
That is because of the hidden pharmacy loophole. Every commercial aircraft has a basic first aid kit packed with painkillers, antacids, and motion sickness pills. But flight attendants are not doctors. Legally, they cannot diagnose you. If you say, "I have a headache, what do you have?" they must say no due to strict liability laws. They cannot risk giving you something you might be allergic to.
So, how do I get the medicine then?
You must diagnose yourself. You walk up and say, "May I please have 2 ibuprofen?" Because you requested a specific over-the-counter item, they are legally allowed to open the kit and hand it to you for free. Thousands of passengers suffer in silence simply because they used the wrong phrasing.
Just changing one sentence changes everything. Are there any other hidden items?
Yes, the hot drink upgrade. Economy coffee is notoriously terrible because the water tanks on airplanes are rarely cleaned thoroughly. But they almost always have hot chocolate packets and premium green tea bags tucked away in the galley drawers for the crew or for children. If you politely ask, "Do you happen to have any hot chocolate?" they will gladly make you a cup using the sealed hot water instead of the standard coffee pot.
Okay, this is all great for comfort. But what if my flight is delayed and I am about to miss my connecting flight? I always see people sprinting through the terminal in a panic. Can they give me anything for that?
Yes, and this is perhaps the most valuable free item on the entire airplane. It is called the Express Connection Pass. Airlines have special bright orange or red cards that allow premium passengers to completely skip the lines at immigration, customs, and security.
I have seen those fast track lanes, but I thought you had to pay thousands of dollars for a first class ticket to use them.
That is what they want you to think. But flight attendants have a secret stash of these passes specifically for economy passengers who are at risk of missing a connection due to the airline's own delay. If you miss your connection, the airline has to pay for your hotel and rebook you. That costs them hundreds of dollars.
So if I ask for the pass, they will give it to me just to save themselves money?
Exactly, but they will not announce it over the loudspeaker. If you know your connection is tight, ring the call bell before landing. Explain your situation and ask, "Do you have an Express Path card so I can make my connection?" They will almost always hand you one. It will save you hours of waiting in line and prevent you from being stranded in a foreign country.
I have spent so much money at airport terminals and so much time stressing out, not realizing the airline already had the solutions waiting for me. I am never flying the same way again. This completely changes how I look at economy class.
The entire system is designed to make you feel like a burden so you will not ask. But now you know the truth. You are not begging for favors. You are simply claiming the inventory and the tools that were already provisioned for your flight.
This is exactly the kind of insider knowledge people need before they travel.
And speaking of insider knowledge, in the next video, we are exposing the massive travel discounts the industry is actively hiding from older travelers. If you or someone you love is over the age of 55, you are being overcharged. We are going to reveal the hidden senior perks that airlines will never offer you up front unless you know the exact secret phrases to demand them. You will not want to book another trip until you see it. Safe travels, everyone.